Hello there. This is Beth with another YouTube Pagan Challenge question, number 48. And it is, what is the most appealing, fulfilling thing about paganism for me? Geez. I think a large part of what drew me to the neo-paganism kind of stuff in the first place was the freeformness of it for me, of being able to not be stuck with what was written and considered historically correct, whether it is or not, or the literal word of God. I think I found in many ways of not having to worry about the historicity of my deity very freeing. And being able to just do your own thing, of find what connects for me and use those things. And I think along with the mystical aspect of, in many ways being your own clergy. I mean, it's really just you. Even if you're in a group, I mean, you spend such a small time with that group. The main bulk of your practice is always going to be solo. And so that aspect of just really doing your own thing, of learning and creating ways of being for yourself in general. And if you find a good group, definitely stick with it, because a good group's going to call you on your own bullshit, which is always a good thing. You always need to have those people who are going to tell you you're full of shit when you are, and help you work through that aspect. And as opposed to just saying, oh yeah, or going for the ego trip. But it's kind of a digression into group dynamics and it's like that. Really that whole aspect of being free to do what I want to do. Be free to explore, to keep learning and using different paradigms to create faith and magic in my life, to change me, a willingness to do that, just do the work, as it were, the great work of self, of magic, which is really creating the best you, in my opinion, possible. It's not necessarily, spell work and magic and all that kind of stuff. It's that magic that takes place within inside you that can be really, really fulfilling. And the willingness to delve into that aspect of magic where you're working to change you, to be the best you. So you can be more effective when it comes to things like proper magic with a K and spell work stuff. I think, I feel like I'm repeating myself with that kind of freeformness is really what has drawn to me. And I know there are people out there who are like, you're doing it wrong. And I kind of feel like those people haven't been able to shuck off the past of, this is how we do it, and this is the only way that it can be done, and you can't have whatever because the church says no. And it's just like, is that really what we want to create out of what we're making? Because we are recreating, we are creating, we are not reviving. Too much has been lost in the past to actually revive anything. We just don't know enough. In what was understood even 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, believe me, not understood anymore. I mean, stuff that was like understood in the 80s is not necessarily understood in the same way now in 2016. So, that kind of stuff, we're creating our own paths, and why build that dogma in to the path? And I think for me, that lack of dogma and doctrine, and you must do it this way all the time or else, is one thing I really enjoy about my path in paganism. Because forget it. If the way I do it doesn't work for you, use whatever little piece you find for me and make it work for you. That's what I do. It's like you'll be reading stuff and books or whatever, and something will just kind of jump out, or what I call sparkle, at me. And I'm like, oh, and I'll take that tidbit, and that's the tidbit I use within my practice. So yeah, freeform, being able to morph, to change, to do things, to evaluate and reevaluate, and not get caught up in we have to do it this way all the time, that nothing can ever change. And two, it's like, and we'll stress again, ritual, especially with group, is different than solo practitioner work, or even working with 2 or 3 people, because you got to get everyone on the same page. You got 20 people, you got to get on the same page before you can cast that circle and have it be solid. So yeah, there is a place for a set ritual. There is a place for kind of like, this is how we do it, because that's how we all get here. But, even within that, everyone's going to have a slight variation on, how they do it, because we're not all the same, and it can't all be the same all the time. But, okay, I feel like I'm just going to digress into I don't know what now. So, yeah, the fulfilling part is just being able to enjoy it and be freeform and explore. Alrighty, bye-bye.